If you are like other 20-year-olds I know, not all, but some, you're kind of wondering about insecurities because there's so much out there now about mental health and how do you tell the difference between what you're feeling and what you should be feeling and what they say you're feeling. So we're going to work on that today. And today we're going to work on insecurity. If you're feeling insecure, how to know and what to do if you figure out that you are. And by the end, my promise to you is I'm going to give you a quiz, some tips, and maybe that insecurity, if you find it, will be a lighter load. Do you have a reflex that gets you to say no to certain new things before you even try them? Maybe you're saying no because you're insecure. So today in this video, we're going to talk about being insecure about things you do. We're going to talk in other videos about things you are, how you feel about the way you look. But today, right this minute, we're going to talk about things you do. Here are some questions. I'm going to give you 4 questions, and they're like a Geiger counter. Do you know what a Geiger counter is? You've probably seen them on the beach. They make this click, click, click sound when there's metal or radiation. So these questions are a Geiger counter for you to run over yourself, and they will help you understand if you're insecure about certain things. So are you ready? If you want to write them down, you can hit pause. I will be here when you come back. Or you can hit subscribe, and for sure, I'll be here when you come back. Or we'll make sure it'll put 4 questions in the box down below. You know where to look. And those are the 4 questions to ask yourself about insecurity. All right, first question. Now, in the questions, I'm going to use karaoke as an example of something you might do just to have an activity to name that maybe everyone in their 20s has tried or somebody has tried to get them to do. All right. So first question. Are you worried what others will think about you in a karaoke bar? Before, when someone says to you, you want to go do karaoke, is there an instant reflex that says no? That's the first question. Second question. Do you notice that you have feelings about yourself that keep you from saying yes, even when part of it is what you really want to do? Let's go back to karaoke. Friends have invited you out to sing karaoke. You say no right away. And you say no, even though these are people you haven't seen in a while. You love them, you want to be with them, but your feeling of not wanting to do karaoke is so strong. You say no to what you do want to do, which is be with your friends. That's the second question. Are you saying no even when some of you wants to say yes? Third question. If you ask your bestie if they believe you are even worse at karaoke than most people are, would she say, or they say, or he say, or their non-binary selves say, yeah, you are. I love you. But yeah, you are, in fact, worse than most people. Fourth question. Could you come up with a list of reasons why you think you couldn't get better at karaoke? Let's say you aren't good at karaoke. The question is really how many explanations you can come up with for why you couldn't get better. I couldn't get better because whatever it is. Do you have a list of reasons why you couldn't get better? So did you answer yes to all 4 questions? If you answered yes to all 4 questions, you are insecure about karaoke. Makes sense to me. I am too. I am insecure about karaoke. I think any sane person is insecure about karaoke done while sober, right? So there's an example where it kind of makes sense to be insecure. But let's talk about things you want to be better at. If you've noticed you're insecure about something else, go through the questions again and substitute something else. Skiing, snowboarding, dancing, golf, painting, anything that you might want to do for joy. Or work. Are you insecure about work? Substitute another word for karaoke and see what your answers are. And then using your insecurity Geiger counter of 4 questions, you're going to know if you do one activity at a time what you're insecure about. So now we found probably a couple, at least insecurities, and we know where they come from. They come from some deeper feelings. But we're not going to go deep today. We're just going to try to make life a little bit easier. The goal of this video is to say, all right, I've got an insecurity. I want to just move it a little bit. I want to turn it from being my enemy to at least my frenemy. I'm not going to go all the way. I don't want to fall in love with my insecurity and get over it. That's a way ambitious goal. But can I make it my frenemy so I can at least relate to it? So now I'm just going to ask you 2 questions, and you don't have to write these down because 2 questions is easy, and even I can remember 2 questions. The first one is, do you care enough about it? Is it limiting your life enough that you're willing to invest in getting better? So I was really, and I'm just sharing this example to give you one that you can apply in your own life. I was really insecure about dancing. I just thought, oh, I'm a terrible dancer. And I finally hammered Pop-Pops into taking ballroom dancing classes with me. Why I picked ballroom dancing classes, I'm not totally sure, except I had already flunked hip hop classes. I was taking those online, hip hop dancing with an instructor in Belgium because I wanted to dance during the pandemic. And at the end of the first lesson, she looked at me and said, okay, she said, you really cannot throw shade, can you? We spent like 20 minutes where I was trying to learn how to throw shade. I'm just constitutionally unable to throw shade. And so the question was, in either case, ballroom dancing, hip hop dancing, was it really worth my time and energy to get better? And I decided, for me, no. I'm past my clubbing years, so I didn't need to get better. What you want to do is work on one where it's really worth it to get better. You're willing to put your time, which is the real shortage in your life, and your money, if it requires it, into improving. That way, you can take your insecurity from being something that lives in your head, like a gerbil on a wheel, going meh, 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 into an action. As soon as we convert something from a repetitive thought to an action, we're on our way to a happier life. So think about an insecurity that really, really matters to you. And if you could address it, your life would be better. That will make it easier to get to a next step. The next one is tough, and it's tough to do in your 20s. I started working on this one probably in first grade. And again, I just use myself as an example so you can find yourself in me. I am clumsy. I'm just flat out clumsy. Everyone says I'm clumsy. Everyone who loves me says I'm clumsy. I'm just clumsy. I trip over nothing. I just shouldn't be going up ladders. And it turned out for me, the process was not trying to get over being clumsy, because I worked on that. It was just saying, okay, I'm clumsy, but I'm good at these other things. So part of dealing with insecurities is saying, you know what? I can live my life with this thing that I'm not so great at. We used to call it flat sides, like on a wheel. Everybody's got a flat side. You're going to have a flat side because you're human. But it's true that even AI has flat sides. That's why, artificial intelligence starts hallucinating and breaking down. Everything that thinks has a flat side. If you have a flat side, can you accept it? That's the tough one. And that's the one to start working on in your 20s, because that can take a while. It doesn't mean, and I will close with this, that because you have a flat side, no one can love you. I'm here as a stand-in for the granny who exists in real life, who can actually put her arms around you and love you. So I'm sending you love that you can then translate and use for yourself, because love is the first ingredient you put in when you're trying to recognize, deal with, get better than, and accept your insecurities. Bye.